Okay, so reviews have dropped for Trails in the Sky First Chapter, a remake of the 2004 JRPG from Falcom. And I wanted to take a look at some of the reviews and see what people are saying and see if Falcom delivered on remaking this great game. So right now on OpenCritic, the game has an average of an 89 with 9 reviews out. Seems like it's still pretty early, but this is a pretty good indication for the general trend for the reviews. So it's got the mighty badge from OpenCritic. You know, you love to see that little orange guy up there. He's always, he's doing his thing. You know, you'd love to see that on a game you're looking forward to. Just kind of gives you that extra bit of confidence. Make sure you guys check out all the reviews. Links are in the description. The full reviews are really great. Go into great detail, tell you everything you want to know. This video is just for high-level summaries, trying to see what the general consensus is, but highly, highly, highly recommend checking out all the reviews below. Okay, so let's start out with a review from Noisy Pixel, which is a pretty great site. They do a lot of reviews for Japanese games, maybe more niche games. They're usually pretty early to them. Their coverage is pretty good from a big fan's perspective. Usually, they get someone who's knowledgeable about the series. They cover a lot of different JRPG franchises that maybe some of the bigger sites won't cover. So yeah. So their review comes from a self-proclaimed decade-long fan, and they ended up giving it a 9 out of 10, and said that Trails in the Sky First Chapter is a lovingly crafted remake that modernizes a beloved JRPG while preserving its emotional core, offering a vibrant, voice-acted journey through liberal. Is it liberal? Liberal? I haven't played any of the voiced games, so I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I've just only played first chapter, second chapter, the originals. So voice-acted journey throughout liberal with standout character dynamics, rebalanced combat that make it the ideal starting point for newcomers and a heartfelt return for longtime fans. That sounds wonderful. So yeah, the listed good and bad. This is always fun for your review. What they list as good, what they list as bad. Very binary. Highly recommend you read the full review for the full thoughts. I read through it myself. Really great review. Comes from someone who clearly knows the game very well. So the good, faithful yet modernized remake, balances nostalgia with upgraded visuals, voice acting, and gameplay for a definitive version of the original. Rich character development. The bond between Estelle and Joshua is deeply explored and strengthened with in-field voice dialogue. Enhanced combat system. Merges turn-based and action elements across the series for strategic, satisfying battles. Quality of life improvements. Fast travel, mini-maps, and quest markers. Streamline exploration without sacrificing depth. Vibrant world design. Liberal is a more immersive... Liberal is more immersive than ever, with expressive visuals and expanded environmental detail. The bad. Safe NPC writing. Side characters lack the complexity and memorability seen in later Trails entries. Limited new content. Additional quests and events feel minor rather than meaningful expansions of the original story. And occasional localization quirks. Some inconsistencies in terminology and line editing slightly affect immersion. What I'm getting from this is that it's pretty good. I mean, he gave it a 9 out of 10. Some of the bad stuff, safe NPC writing, not really super concerning. It kind of makes sense that they would stick with, most of the dialogue that was already in the game. Not trying to do too much. It seems like this is a remake that does a lot visually, but the structure of the game seems pretty consistent. Sounds to be pretty consistent. Yeah, quality of life improvements, fast travel, that sounds like a must. Mini-maps, yeah, I guess. I didn't really feel like I needed a mini-map when I was playing the original, but I could see that helping. And then quest markers, I'm kind of hit or miss on quest markers. Sometimes it's, really helpful when you're lost, or maybe you're coming back to a game after some time. But other times it's like, damn, it really just kind of dumbs down the game. Makes you not really have to pay attention. You can kind of just zone out, go through it. But hopefully they can be turned off, and that could be like a personal decision. Limited new content as well. I'm not really mad at it. I guess some quests with some of the side characters could have been cool, but from what they said, the game's already really long. I mean, I think I'm seeing like people beating it, and like, you know, the developer said it would take 100 hours. So, you know, I don't know. You put even more in there. It's like, okay, like it's like at some point, it's just too much of a good thing. But yeah, it seems like the bad really didn't outweigh the good here. Ended up giving it a 9 out of 10. He's a long fan. Seems like it pleased him. Next is a review from DualShockers, a more recent fan who just played the first 2 Trails games this year. On OpenCritic, it says that he gave it a 9.5. On the website, it says 10 out of 10. I guess it doesn't really matter, but it's weird that that's different. Yeah, so 10 out of 10. That's crazy. Having not played it. It's like that classic thing, the guy who hasn't played the games, like 10 out of 10, that's crazy. What are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Is this game a 10 out of 10? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it, but he likes it, you know? I mean, come on. But like, really, 10? We're just handing that out. We're just handing out 10s, bro. Hey, I had no problem with a 9 out of 10. You know, it's a great score. I haven't played the game. Talking out of my ass. 10 out of 10? You're bugging, bro. What happens when the second chapter comes out? What are you gonna do? Give it another 10? I guess that makes sense. Second chapter better than first chapter. I think anyone could say that, right? Like, I mean, come on. So he said, back in the day, Trails in the Sky hinged on its story and world building to make up for its other lacking characteristics. 20 years later, Trails in the Sky first chapter not only brings back the full heart of what made the original a classic, but it can now stand tall beside any other heavyweight JRPG. The visual presentation is beautiful, the mix between real-time and turn-based battles is blast, and the quality of life additions adhere to present-day audiences. I can confidently say that Trails in the Sky first chapter is a quintessential JRPG that should be cherished by every fan of the genre. Wow. Sounds great. Yeah, it sounds like a 10 out of 10 to me. I feel like I'm bullying. Why am I talking shit? This is a man who played this game, he worked really hard, wrote this review, and I'm just sitting here reading his review. I'm the problem. So, some pros and cons. The pros. While slow at first, the plot unfolds beautifully. Authentic and extremely charming characters. Top-notch world building that ties perfectly into the story. The mix between real-time and turn-based combat is excellent. Visuals are gorgeous, and the soundtrack matches the atmosphere perfectly. Quality of life additions enhance the overall experience. So pretty similar to the first review, what they're praising. And some of the things he didn't like, and some of the things they didn't like, some awkward dubbing decisions and inconsistent lip sync, and NPC character models are repeated to exhaustion. Damn. Yeah, it seems like there's something going on with the translation, which is a shame. Hopefully it's not too prevalent. But he gave the game a 10 out of 10, so it couldn't be that bad. You know what I'm saying? It couldn't be that bad. Next up, Push Square. It's a review from a big fan. They gave it a 9 out of 10 with a strong score. They say, Falcom has outdone itself with Trails in the Sky first chapter. This is an incredibly heartfelt recreation of a classic RPG, a remake that retains all of the charms of the original game, while also delivering one of the best, most polished adventures in the entire franchise. Whether you're a Trails veteran or a curious newcomer, first chapter is a must-play installment. Wow. I'm not a veteran, and I'm not a newcomer. I guess I played the first 2 games, so I guess I'm a veteran. I must play. See, I played first chapter back in 2020, so it hasn't been that long, and I just played second chapter like last year, so... Also, I want to play this, but it's like, damn, like, can I get a little bit more time, you know? Like, why couldn't I have just waited, you know? It's like, oh, I could just wait for the remakes. But, you know, hey. Yes, I'll probably play third chapter before hopping into this. Just feels wrong to go back to the first game, but no one asked. So the pros are an outstanding remake, deeply endearing characters, brilliantly balanced combat, a great sense of adventure, Falcom's best looking game, countless quality of life updates, infectiously catchy soundtrack. The negatives: glacial story pacing. Wow, won't be for everyone, and some slightly tedious side quests. Dang. I really liked the story pacing of the first game. It was just chill, bro. Like, just spending time, doing some like slice of life shit, dealing with like small problems, and it kind of builds near the end. But I guess, yeah, it won't be for everyone. That's me on the people that it's for. Finally, we have GameSpot, who gives the game an 8 out of 10. They write, if first chapter is a bit lighter and less complex than its later iterations, then that is also in keeping in the spirit of the original game, as the beginning of an epic saga. If you've always wanted to experience the wonder of the Trail series, but didn't know where to start, then there are no excuses, as this faithful remake is the definitive way to begin that long and winding trail. Very nice. Hopefully, the remake of its second chapter follows up swiftly. So yeah, basically just saying, it's the first game. It's not as complex as the rest of the ones. The writer seems to be a fan of the later Trails games and sees what they build into, and, is reevaluating the original game. Has its charms, but still, less going on than those later games. And that probably contributes to the lower score, 8 out of 10. It's the lowest score we've seen today. Other scores, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10. So, go after them. No, I'm kidding. Please don't. Pitchforks. So let's take a look at the good and the bad that they listed out. Nice little bullet points for us. The wonderful cast of characters who've never looked better. There you go. Original story faithfully intact without unnecessary bloat. Well-balanced action and turn-based hybrid battle system. Modern conveniences make for a much smoother experience. And then the bad: no new meaningful side content or activities if you're a returning player. And inconsistent use of voice dialogue dampens the story. That one intrigues me. Reminds me of Ni no Kuni 2, which I played years ago, and I remember distinctly being very annoyed at the jarring is the word I would use, changing between having voices and not having voices within the same conversation. There's something very annoying about that, even though you kind of understand, like, this is a budget thing, and you'd rather have, the script be the script without having to worry about whether or not they'll be able to afford to voice it all. But I think having that in the same conversation, switching between voiced and unvoiced, is just jarring, and it makes it harder to kind of stay immersed. Something like Metaphor, I think, does a good job at this, like kind of separating. You can kind of expect when voices will happen, when you'll be able to hear voices, and when, you're doing a confidant mission or whatever, that's not going to be voiced, even though it should be. I mean, come on, you're Alice, you're Sega, will voice the damn game. But you kind of know, going into it, it's okay, I know what to expect, no voices here. Kind of makes it a little bit more palatable, less jarring. So I understand that complaint. So yeah, though, overall, Falcom seems to have succeeded, and not only succeeded, but, done really well. They didn't have to go this hard, it seems like. It seemed like if this would have gotten, 83, 85, I think that would have fallen within expectations. The fact that this is even anywhere close to a 90, it's still early. The score will probably go down as more reviews come in. There's also, I didn't see a review from a new fan, someone who has no experience with the Trails franchise. So I'll be interested in seeing that perspective as well. Maybe it's a bit lower. Maybe there's a little nostalgia, rose-tinted glasses going on here. I'm sure that plays a bit into the scores, but it seems like people are being fair. Complaining about no new content, translation issues, and, praising what is great. about the game. Combat, characters are still there, the story is still there, quality of life, fast travel, that's huge. The combat has an action element to get, more of a modern audience, as they always say. So yeah, Falcom killed it. I don't think I'll be playing it anytime soon, but eventually I'll definitely pick it up. I've played the first 2 games, haven't played the third one. It's getting to that point where I'm like, second chapter is undoubtedly on the way. Third chapter, from what little that I did play of it, seems like a lot of the same assets are being used. So that can't be too far away. There's a lot of games out there. I could probably just wait for the remakes at this point and then just hop on the remake train, because it seems like they're just nailing it, and it's like not at all worse. Like, it seems like it's just better. It seems like, not that it's going to replace the originals, but like, damn, it's kind of hard to argue to tell someone like, yay, go play the original one when this one exists now. I haven't played it, but from what people are saying, it really seems like it's even the towns are like 1-to-1 in their space. The dialogue is pretty similar. The combat is improved. Like, it's hard to argue. Like, tell someone, hey, go play the original. Even though the original was great to play, the second chapter was great to play. It's like I could just wait a little longer and start on the remake train, and then those sure to do crossbow, and I can play those in the remake. And it just seems like that's the meta these days. It's just wait for a game to be remade before you play it. Like, I'm not going to play Chrono Trigger because I guarantee a remake is going to happen. There are people waiting to play Final Fantasy IX because that remake has been rumored forever. Final Fantasy Tactics just had the exact same thing happen. Like, you can just wait and play the other remakes that are out, or the other new games, or the games you already own. And, but there's something to be said about not giving a fuck and just playing the game that you already have. Atelier Ryza just announced deluxe editions, and I was in the middle of playing the first one. I was like, should I stop? No, I'm not going to stop. That's ridiculous. And I still had a great time playing that game. The content that they're going to add in the deluxe editions is probably not that substantial. So I think just play whatever's in front of you, play what you own, wait. Either way, you're going to have a good time. There's plenty of games to play. So yeah, that's enough rambling. What do you guys make of these reviews? Are you excited by them? Do you wish they were higher? Do you wish every single review was a 10 out of 10? Is that a disappointment that they're not that 8 out of 10 review? Are you pissed at them? Let me know in the comments below. Are you picking it up? Did you already pre-order? Is this your first time playing Trails? Are you a series veteran? I love that term. Can't wait for that second chapter to come out too. Love the second chapter. One of my favorite games. I'm going to shut the hell up. Like the video if you liked the video. Dislike the video if you dislike the video. Subscribe, please. And goodbye.